All right, time for Riding Shotgun with Tommy Mack. I'm your host, Tom McManus, back in the beautiful showroom of Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, on Blanding, right near I-295, in front of one of their badass vehicles, their SUV, fully gassed and powered up. Hey, whether you like that, you like hybrid or electronic vehicles, they have a great line of luxury and high performance here at Fields Cadillac. Well, guess what? We're going to be high performance tonight as well, because guess what? We're doing a new subject tonight. Yeah, we've done sports, we've done football, we've done basketball, we've done baseball, we've done music. Well, tonight it's the movie industry with my good friend Kevin Porter, known as KP around these parts. He's been an actor for over 3 decades, been in some iconic films, iconic roles, and still working to this day, doing some great work out there. And he's going to join us now in Riding Shotgun. Let's welcome in KP. How you doing, Kevin? Good to see you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
I tell you, 3 decades. How about that? Is that about right?
Sounds like a long time.
It
was definitely the 90s and the 2000s and the 20s. So
yeah, and you were an athlete at college, and you get discovered, quote unquote, by your drama teacher.
Yeah, I was approached by the professor, and he wanted me to be a part of the program, mainly because I was tall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, but of course then what I hear is, oh, I made it, I've been discovered.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need somebody to believe in you.
Were you ever thinking about it going in?
Always.
Like you were?
Always.
Okay, so you always wanted to get into that.
All I wanted to do.
Okay.
But I never had the courage, and I never had someone believe in me.
Yeah.
And that's the power that they have.
There you go, man. We got some stories to tell, man. You ready to go for a ride around town?
I got shotgun.
Yes, you do, my man. All right, let's do it. Beautiful. All right, KP, let's get into it, my man. Welcome into Riding Shotgun with Tommy Mack. We are leaving the Fields Cadillac showroom in this beautiful XT6 all-wheel drive SUV. It's like a van, man. This thing's unreal.
The worst part about this is going from this back to a Mitsubishi. And then you're like, I need to make some changes. I tell
you what, they got some great cars here. There's no doubt about it. All right, KP, so we heard in the opening about you getting discovered, if you will, in college. Take us to, you're done with college, you're moving to LA. Was that the plan from the get-go? Like once you got the bug, was it ever New York, but it was always LA, or just walk through that a little bit? How'd that go?
Once I was discovered, I did play after play after play. I was bitten with the bug, and I have to be honest that
theatrical plays,
absolutely
up on stage,
stage. Yes,
that's great training, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, Man for All Seasons, Barefoot in the Park, just great material.
Okay.
And so I was thinking, okay, this is something that I want to do, and then and that's always there, and it was a small college, and I knew that I was a good small college football player, but it wasn't going to go any further.
Okay.
And
you played what, tight end?
I played defensive end. They put me in as tight end, and everywhere I went, everyone wanted me to play tight end until they saw me trying to catch the ball.
Yeah, hands of stone.
Honestly, it was embarrassing. And then, like there, I was like,
I played linebacker.
I said, please don't put me there. Right. And they're like, no. And then I'm working out with the tight ends, and then it's just, and then you just get laughed at, and all the credibility you built being a good defensive player was gone.
Yeah,
hands of stone.
Right, and you're not Roberto Duran, right?
No, I'm not. And so I came back and actually ended up, I burned out my eligibility, finished up at UNF.
Okay.
And then got a job. You wanted to get a car, you wanted to get a house, and you just started living a regular life.
Okay. What did you put the acting on hold, or you're just figuring out?
You always think you're going to get back to it.
Okay.
You always think you're going to get back to it, but then you just get distracted.
Right. Okay. All right, so you got the Larry's Giants. So when do you say, all right, I'm going to L.A.? Like, when did this
A
happen?
car accident. A car
Whoa,
accident.
No way.
Yeah,
I never heard this.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
97.
Okay.
And my cousin from New Orleans, Michael, you know Michael.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep.
And we had gone camping.
Okay.
And we were driving back after I dropped him off from the airport, and it was a downpour. I was in my SUV. It started to hydroplane.
Ooh.
And then I hit a parked car that had pulled over.
Ooh.
And flipped it, and it was ugly.
KP. Wow.
Yeah, it was, and I
Big
got
guy to get in a wreck.
Oh, it was brutal, and I got out.
Okay.
And then I looked, and it's pouring.
Right.
And I looked, and there was an older couple in the car that I hit.
Oh, jeez.
And so I'm like, "Are you guys okay?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then suddenly I realized that was the Lord speaking to me.
Okay.
And that
Cool.
saying, get up.
Yeah.
Get up.
Right.
And fulfill whatever it is that you think that you need to fulfill. So,
Okay. How old were you at this time?
gosh, 27, 28.
27, 28.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna audition for a play. So I opened up
Okay.
the folio,
Okay.
and I looked at Players by the Sea, Man for All Seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, and they have auditions coming up on Saturday. So I didn't tell anyone,
Okay.
and I snuck in there, and I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But if I can't get a role in this small production,
Okay.
in this small theater, then okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
It's not like New York if I can make it here.
Yeah.
Make
Oh,
it
absolutely.
anywhere. Right.
And so I go in, and I ended up getting the lead, and then sudden again validation. You just need
Yep.
you need just a little goose. You need someone that
Yeah.
says, "I believe in you."
Right.
And so that was what I needed. And then once I got that,
Okay.
it was on.
Okay.
It was
Off
on.
to L.A.
I put my house on the market,
Okay. Wow.
and then I was in LA within 6 months.
No kidding.
6 months.
All right. So what's it like? Is it true a struggling actor, or did you find success right away? How long were you in the acting biz before the big break in Dodgeball? How about that?
Yeah, I was lucky, and I got I had a pretty good audition for
Okay.
the X-Files. I had an agent that believed in me.
Okay. Cool.
And so I was non-union, and
Yep.
then I went in and was a motivational speaker, and I felt very comfortable in the role.
Okay.
And I was called back, and then my agent said, "I don't know how you got this because you're not union, but they cast you."
Cool.
And I learned so much from that one opportunity because I play like a Tony Robbins character.
Okay.
And I'm super excited. I'm getting into the Screen Actors Guild, and it's a really great part. So I go in there, I show up. It's at Fox Pico Studios.
Okay.
Get into makeup, super excited. Go into the sound stage, and this is the X-Files sound stage. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Sully's desk and blah blah blah, and you're walking through it.
wow.
It's my
Yeah.
first experience
That was
ever.
huge back then too. X-Files was
Oh.
huge. Yeah.
And so, and then I hear, because it's very quiet, but then I hear an audience. I turn the corner and I see a studio audience that's there just for me because I'm a motivational speaker in front of a studio audience.
Got you.
So they're
Got
all
you.
extras.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And then suddenly the moment started getting bigger than me. And I'm looking, and they mic me up, and they're like, okay, Kevin, you're gonna come up here and you're gonna do this.
Yeah.
The director wasn't here, he was up there somewhere, and I just heard his voice like God. And I get up there. Okay, all right, everyone's at speed, camera, and action. And I go, self-discipline. That's the name of this game. That's the way Tim. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
And
Your
then
first shot at the
yeah,
line.
yeah.
Oh, no.
And you've got
Oh, geez.
cameras. They're dollying back and forth, and you've got all of this going on.
Oh, my
and people
God.
are like, "What?"
Oh,
And then they're like, "Okay, do it again. Start from the top. Okay, take 2. All right, Kevin, are you ready? You good? Yeah, and action." Self-discipline. That's the name of this game. That's the one thing that you can't. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, cut.
Oh my God.
Coming down. I heard that. Coming down. And so he comes over and pulls me aside and says, "You got this?"
Right. Do you know your lines?
Yeah. Do you meaning are you the one that we cast? Are you what we thought you were?
Right.
Kevin, do you have this?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. And he said, then do your job. He said, see that guy right there?
Yeah.
He set the lights up. See that guy right there?
Yeah.
He built the set.
Yeah.
You're a part of this. Do your job.
Yeah. Good.
And I was like, whoa. And he was right.
Yeah.
There's no excuses.
Right.
Do your job.
No, that's right.
I'm getting paid quadruple, 10 times more than anyone else on that set.
Right.
And I just came from a trailer to where I'm eating like a king and everybody's doing this. And so get up there and perform.
Right.
And don't mess up. And I will never forget that. There was literally zero tolerance for mediocrity,
Yeah.
zero tolerance for not bringing your A game every single time.
Yeah.
And that was a complete and utter lack of coddling, I think, that's missed not only in the industry, but it's missed in life.
Right.
It was a pass or fail.
Right.
Kevin, do you have this?
Right.
Can you do this?
Right. Because if not, I'll have to go get somebody else that will.
If not, brother,
Yeah.
there's a line of 10,000 of
I'm
yous.
waiting for you.
Yeah.
Waiting for this opportunity.
And I was like,
Oh, what a lesson.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah.
I've had a few of those moments.
Yeah. So how'd you finish the line?
Oh,
and
nailed
everything?
it.
Oh, you
Nailed
did.
it.
Not
Nailed
the
it.
third try. The third try.
Third try,
Nice.
straight through.
Cool.
And
Good
I
job.
always go back to that. I've had coaches that I had similar conversations with.
Yep.
And it's basically words are easy, deeds are everything, actions
That's
mean
right.
everything.
No doubt.
And
No doubt.
it just honed me to be razor sharp, to
Okay.
always be prepared.
Absolutely. All right. So the X-Files. How long were you in LA before you got the X-Files?
Not long.
Like
Not long. That was
6
my
months?
first audition.
No kidding.
It was less than a year. It was my
Hey,
first
gee,
audition.
wow, very
oh yeah.
cool.
I thought, I got this wired. This is oh yeah.
Right.
I'm in.
Right.
I'm in.
Right.
I had no doubt that I was boom on my way. And so X-Files, it was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And then
sure.
my next opportunity came along like 6-8 months later.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. And that was, like the Hughleys. And
Yeah.
I did a lot of television, which was great.
Yep.
But the
General Hospital, didn't you?
I was on General Hospital
Talk
for a couple
about the
of years.
bigs that you mentioned to me a long time. There was a group of guys like you,
Yes.
big guys,
Yeah.
that they call the bigs, right? You
Yeah.
play a security guard or bouncer or motivational speaker.
all day
or whatever.
long, all day
Okay.
long.
Yep.
And you basically play the heavy.
The heavy.
And
The heavy, not the bigs. The
yeah,
heavy.
and then so I didn't want to play into that. And so initially I'm like, no, I'm
an actor.
I'm leading man.
Right.
I'm leading man.
Right.
And I had an agent one time, actually as a manager, Ted Gekas, and he said, people are going to resent you because they believe that the Lord does not give with two hands. I said, what does that mean? They're not going to make you talented and handsome or tall in this. You're going to have to choose what they're going to view you as.
Right.
And I said, okay. And he goes, also, Kevin, you're 6'5". Tom Cruise is 5'9".
Right. Yep.
5'8".
Right.
But people think he's 6 foot tall. So when you're standing next to him, you look 7.5 feet.
Yeah, no kidding.
So there's got to be a reason why you're so big.
Yep.
And he goes, your height works against you if you don't lean into it.
Okay.
And I didn't
Fair.
lean into it until my second run. And
Okay.
I grew the beard, shaved the head, you lowered the voice, put on 20, 25 pounds.
Yeah.
And I was booking left and right.
Wow,
and right.
Very cool.
It was cool. It was fun. They weren't the parts that I wanted,
Okay.
but they were fun. I did
Okay.
a lot of fighting. I shot a lot of people.
Yeah.
I worked with a lot of great, like Armand Asante. I worked with
Right.
on Salvage Marines.
Right.
That was that look that I had, and it was a great look.
And your background is in martial arts. I think when we first met, you were working for Marvel. And
Yeah.
you were traveling all the world,
Crazy.
choreographing these fights.
What an amazing life!
I
amazing
bet it
life.
was.
Yeah, I was contracted by Marvel and DC Comics
Yep.
to produce their live events for their superheroes.
Right.
I would cast them, I would train them, I would write the shows, produce the shows, and then we would go out into the world and tour these shows.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
meant everything. It was so much fun. It took me around the world
Yeah.
20 times.
And you had to the foreign language, like you had to, that.
Oh,
must
your
have been
memory's
challenging.
incredible. Yeah,
I remember you telling me about all that.
I had
yeah.
to do the show in Turkish.
Right.
And it was just a learning experience, and
Yep.
you can't say I don't know how. That doesn't fly.
No, right.
So
Figure
you
it
learn.
out.
You figure it out.
Yeah.
You learn to do it.
Yeah.
And again, it was I think the time to which I was living that you do it, and
Yep.
you don't doubt yourself. You're like, absolutely, I will not just figure it out. I will create a process that is uniquely my own.
Yep. So cool. So cool. All right. Bring us up to when you get the audition for Dodgeball. What are you doing at the time? I know you're working, but what's going on in your life, in your acting life? And then talk about the...
I've never told this story.
Okay.
I was I was in a vacuum. I was in a lull. And so I was working at Universal Studios. I was a Captain America at Universal.
Okay.
And I went back to school. And I was taking classes at LA Valley College because I wanted to get a degree in film or writing or what have you. But I always wanted to keep moving forward. But I was literally at a standstill. My agent calls me and says, there's a new Ben Stiller movie. And they're looking for big guys to basically play his henchmen.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine.
Absolutely.
And they're looking for professional athletes. I'm like, okay, all right. And
I like that speed, baby.
Oh yeah,
That
feels
not
good.
Bad. Yeah.
And so I said, okay, well, I don't even know what it is.
Okay.
But I went to an audition, and the audition was in this. These are LA things, Tom.
Yeah.
It was in this beautiful old theater in MacArthur Park, like the song. There's an actual park.
Okay.
And I walk into this old resort. And do you remember the song "Oh Sherry" by Steve Perry?
Yeah, of course.
Remember the video?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the hotel. I walk in, Tom, and I'm just hanging out, and that's the magic of Hollywood. And I'm like, oh no, this is the hotel this is the lobby that Steve Perry's walking down the stairs, and you got the Sherry girl,
right.
And it was incredible. So I go in, and they put me through some athletic drills.
Okay.
I have no idea what it is. It's an untitled Ben Stiller project.
Okay, you still don't know what it is.
No, I have no clue. No clue. Okay. It's called Underdogs. That was the name of the Underdogs.
Okay.
And then I go back. I do more. Really, really extensive stuff.
Okay.
Then I do some readings for the director Rawson, who's great.
Okay.
And I still don't appreciate the magnitude of what we're doing until I was offered the role.
Okay.
And I was doing a play at the time, and I was just cast, and we hadn't done a rehearsal yet. We did a read-through.
Yep.
And I had a conflict, and I had to talk to the director. And integrity is everything to me.
Yep.
And if it would have put him into a bind, I had no idea what Dodgeball was going to be, so I would have turned the gig down. I would say, sorry, I can't do it.
Wow.
And
wow.
But the director said, is this a good opportunity? And I said, I think it could be. And he goes, then you have my blessing.
Cool.
So I said, okay, great.
Okay.
And I go in for the fitting. This is when it really hit me, for the costumes.
Okay. Wow.
And I look on the wall, and I see the Purple Cobra costumes as we know them today.
Okay.
And I'm like, is that what we're going to be wearing?
Wow.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And they're like, oh yeah, it's awesome. And that's when
Are you in good shape at this time? Like
I was
been working out.
peak.
Okay.
I was peak.
Peak shape. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, the build was just a tool in my repertoire. That's all it was.
Yeah, sure.
And so you stay on it and on it and on it, because you can always hide it, but if you need to show it, then it's right there. It's just something else to offer.
Yeah.
And I ran it. That's when I first met Brandon Mullally, my dear,
I know Brandon. Yeah.
best friend.
Yeah.
I met him at that fitting.
Okay.
And I knew because when we turned the corner, we looked at each other.
Yep.
And it's not a coincidence. And he goes, oh, you with that Ben Stiller? I said, yeah. And he goes, hey, I'm Brandon Mullally. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just one of my best friends since. That's another great thing that's come, is the friendship that all the Purple Cobras have.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture you posted not too long ago.
Oh, just amazing people.
All right, so tell the story. You got to tell the story, because this
Yeah.
is a funny story. I already know the story, but the audience is going to love it.
Yeah.
When you go to play dodgeball, I think it's for the first time, and you're working out, you had to run against Vince Vaughn.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
the story
yeah.
about Vince Vaughn. This is fantastic.
It's an embarrassing story, and I don't know why I told it, but it's so funny.
No, it's great.
It's too funny
Come
not
on.
to tell.
Yeah.
So basically, we literally rehearsed dodgeball for a couple of weeks. Did nothing but train and train. So they have the Purple Cobras, and we're just wearing sweats and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's me and Jamal, Missy, Rusty. And then on the other side, you got the average Joes. And again, you have Christine, you have Stephen Root, you have Justin Long.
Yep.
And Vince Vaughn was right in front of me, and the judge says, "Play, go, dodgeball. And you run to the middle, and you grab the ball, and you throw it.
Right.
And a lot of the dodgeball wasn't really official until that movie. There were no rules. And I'm like, what? It's different than when we played it when we were younger.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, it's Vince Vaughn. And he was a little doughy at the time. And
so not in good shape.
Just shiny.
Soft.
He was always shiny.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he would just walk in, and you could tell that he was enjoying his life.
Sure.
Though not at 6 in the morning. You can tell he tore it up the night before.
Okay.
And so, dodgeball. So I go run up there, and I give it maybe half speed.
Yeah.
And he beat me, and I'm like, good for him. And I literally was
shocked a little bit, like
I was like, wow,
he actually can move.
He's got a little hustle.
Yeah, right.
So I step on the gas for the second one, and he beat me again. I'm like, okay, all right, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
And the third time, I'm going all out because I want to embarrass him.
Yeah.
He beats me again, and I gave it all I had, Tom. I gave it all I had.
Oh my God! Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I was shocked, and I was embarrassed. And then I go back to the line, and we're in a sound stage.
Right.
And I go, I can't believe Vince Vaughn's beating me every time. And I hear, hey, pal. And I look up, and he goes, you want, maybe I should switch with the girl, and you can beat her so Vince Vaughn doesn't beat you every time. And I kind of laughed it off.
Yeah, right.
But I was so embarrassed. And Rusty was like, get away from me.
Right.
You go stand over there.
Right.
You're going to get us fired.
What was it like when it's been, I never knew this before, and I don't know if this is totally accurate, but made for $20 million, but box office did like 170, 80, whatever, killed it. It became an iconic film. Did you guys know it was going to be special? Like,
not at all.
Like,
not
even
at all.
with the press, like the press tour and all that after, the movie's made, or you know what I mean, premieres.
Yeah.
Never thought like, wow, this thing's just going to be.
No, we knew that we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We knew that that it was a funny movie. We were having a blast with it.
Yeah.
But at no point did we think that it would do well in the box office.
Right.
And also at no point did we ever think that 20 years from now it would be bigger than when it first came out.
Right. And it is, man. Fantastic. Well, that's a great story. What a great, just to be a part of it. So awesome. Yeah. And let me ask you this. Do royalties last forever? Or
they do.
They do. They
really
last
do.
for however long it's played. There's a royalty. Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
They dwindle.
Well,
but
sure,
they're
over
there.
time, yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll get a pretty big one. I'll go, oh, that's good.
Very
but
cool.
Most oftentimes, like Seinfeld, you'll get one for 17 cents.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That's still, hey, that adds up, KP, right?
Yes,
that
it does.
Adds up. All right, talk about playing Batman. I mean, here's one of the most iconic roles, iconic characters. You pulled it off great. I went back, watched a couple of your videos on IMDb. Talk about that. Talk about playing Bruce Wayne, man. So cool.
That started from an audition, and my agent sent me to an audition, and they were looking for live appearance actors to portray Batman in a touring production. So basically, it's
kind of like what you had been doing with Marvel and DC.
That's how I got the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I just started with that, and I was good at it. And I learned the character, I learned the voice, I learned the movement, and I became like their number one guy, and then I became their touring guy, and then I was responsible for casting like Flash and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern, and that just shot me off into a different direction to where I hooked up with a production company that did these fan films, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And so that created an entirely different niche, because now I'm known as much for the fan films and Batman as anything else.
That's so cool. Is the bat suit heavy?
It depends on which one, but yeah,
Okay.
I've one that are some that are like 70 pounds.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
They're that heavy.
Oh, yeah.
What's the headpiece like? Can you breathe in
Rubber.
it?
Yeah, you can breathe in it, but it's restrictive.
Oh, wow.
It can be relatively tight,
Yep.
and it's rough.
Wow. Well, you still look. You've had an incredible career. You're still working today. You're
Yeah.
still working on some projects today. What's the latest in the Kevin
Well,
Porter world?
I'm phasing out because I want to, I'm opening up the sandwich shop.
Yep.
But
Let's give it a plug. Hollywood Subs.
Hollywood Subs.
Hollywood Subs, baby. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. The home office is going into South Point and opening in January.
Okay.
But yeah, I answer the phone whenever the directors call, and I go,
Yeah.
oh, if it sounds like a good project and doesn't take me away from my priorities, then
Yep.
then absolutely.
Which actor was a dream to work with? If you look back on your career, who would you say is or more than one that, man, what a pleasure to work.
I will
with
tell you, there's been two legends, and one.
Okay.
One is James Caan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whew,
Yeah.
wow, what just intimidating. And
Yeah.
the other one's Armand Asante. And watching these two gentlemen work lets you know what true greatness is.
Right. Right.
Because these guys were
True
just
pros.
legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
How about divas? Any divas? By the way, my wife and I watched the movie with Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
he's
Yeah.
hilarious in it,
Yeah.
but so narcissistic, so demanding, I'm like, man, I wonder if
And-
people are really like that. Like,
Yeah, there's this one actor, and he's well known.
yeah,
And I would consider him a pretty good friend of mine. We
Okay.
spent a lot of time outside of work.
yeah.
And I've done 2 films with him. And the second film I did with him, I'm just I was so disappointed in his conduct.
Oh boy.
And he was really big in another era, and it wasn't this era.
Okay.
And there's one thing when you're just, we'll call it a lunch pail actor.
Okay.
You go to work, you're a
Yeah.
ham and egger, and
Yeah, you're
and-
working.
and- yeah, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
I call it a working actor.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing to be.
Yep.
But there's another thing, having a great deal of success, and then time moves on,
Sure.
and for whatever reason you didn't keep up with that,
Mm-hmm.
but you maintain those expectations that of the success that you used to have,
Right.
and that's tough. That's got to be tough for them, and they carry that ego with them,
Mm-hmm.
and that was rough. And his conduct on this set just really it set me off to the point
It
where
turns
I
you
was,
off,
Oh, absolutely.
right? I mean, come
Yeah.
on, man. You
Yeah.
no matter how talented you are, you just be cool.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean,
Absolutely.
because other people are just as talented.
Yeah.
Maybe not as well known, but the talent
Yeah.
can't be that far off.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a young thespian, Kevin? And do you feel like the play route to start, that foundation
Yeah,
of being on
absolutely.
stage, and why is that? Why is it? Do you have to know your lines a lot more? Like,
You just learn the craft, and it's
Okay.
selfless. It's
Okay.
selfless, and it's not about ego,
Yep.
and it's not about being a movie star or anything, because you're just working on the craft, and you're also volunteering your time and getting paid
Right.
nothing, and it's a way to earn your stripes.
okay, good. I
Yeah.
like it. Get your grit.
Absolutely.
I think people like with football players or any athletes, they think you just show up on Sunday. Like I think they think that with actors, a lot of people do. Like, oh, they just show up and do the movie, but they don't realize the grind, the grit that it takes.
Yeah.
How about getting into character, KP? I mean, is that like what kind of process is that like? Like for Batman, that's you got to play that. You got to Bruce Wayne. That's legendary, man. You got to get into character for that.
Yeah.
How would you personally do that? How would you get into character?
The older that I've gotten, the better I am at being honest. The better I am
Yep.
at being at lowering the walls
Mm-hmm.
and just allowing me to live in the moment, because it's all about living truthfully in the moment, the way that we are right now.
Yep.
And so not acting.
Yeah.
And there's art to just being.
Just to be right,
Just
right.
to be, because there's this beauty that we all have. And if you can drop that veneer and show that beauty off,
Right.
then that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you and I, we work on a few projects together, a couple of my own, and just dabbled in it to a certain degree, nowhere near any kind of level. But I've often heard, like, you'll have a script, you'll have the dialogue, and then you hear, look, the actor may say all the line, or she may say all the line, or part of the line, and the rest will come from a look.
Yeah.
And you'll know what they're saying without them saying it. That's what you're kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
It's about subtext. It's about listening.
Yeah.
And just, again, when my favorite is when I'm a part of a project and I'm living in the moment.
Yep.
And I don't know. We've got a script, and the script's great. And the script is the guideline and serves the purpose of the writer.
Yep.
But when you're living in that moment, you're truly living, and you're living in the eyes of your partner. And I was taught this by the great Richard Klein. He was one of the biggest influences on my career. And you don't know what's going to come out of your mouth. You really don't. And if you have the script down, which is great, but you don't, you have no idea, because I'm going to relinquish to the impulse.
Yeah. Right.
And if I have an impulse to speak or to say, just like us right now, I'm going to give into it. And there are some times that I'm with a scene partner, and I'm like, just be in the moment with me, because I have no idea what I'm going to say.
Yeah, right.
Which is bizarre, because they're like, well, you've got a script. That's what you're going to say.
Right.
And you're like, no, we don't know what that is. There is no script.
Right. That's a guideline. Yeah.
It's yes, it's a purpose that drives the story.
Yeah.
But if you and I are having a conversation, I'm going to be honest and truthful to you.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't fly with some directors. It really doesn't, and you have to snap it through. I did a film, and I was doing this new artsy, heartfelt way, and then the actress was like, that's not in the script.
Right,
That's not in the script.
Right.
And so I went, oh gosh, okay. So then you have to know the script. So you get right back on script.
Yeah.
Because that's not fair to her.
Right.
And
all right, what about like kissing scenes and those kind of scenes? How do you do that if you're married? Like, I never understood. Like, I wouldn't be good at that. Like, my wife was going to work, and she had like a kissing scene. So I'd be like,
awkward.
I don't know if I want to watch that, or even I don't know. I don't know. That'd be tough.
It's awkward.
How do people do it though? How do you think they do it?
Well, again, it serves the story.
So it's just work.
And you look in the eyes of this person, and you're just, you have love for this person.
Yeah.
And I've done it. It's easier, I think, to do in theater than it is film.
Okay.
Because in theater, you're in it, and you've had 2 hours of build-up, and it's a continuous story.
Right.
But in television and film, you show up, and you're doing a page and a half, and it's over here, and you're bouncing all around.
Right.
And so, but when it's a play, it's a slow build. And I've done romantic scenes in theater.
Yeah.
They're much easier. And also when you're having this moment and you're so intimate and you're in love with this girl, but you're being watched by 450 people, though you don't acknowledge it, it's less cheaty.
Okay.
And then it's not.
It's
just you don't have the camera right here.
Thou shalt not commit adultery with an asterisk unless you're an actress.
Yeah,
right?
or unless you're in front of 450 people.
Or unless, right, it's not as cheating. I just always wondered, like, how do you get prepared for that and then let go? Because you got to, let it go, right? Let it rip.
Let it rip.
So interesting. All right, my man. Well, I'm looking forward to more projects. You're writing, you're producing, you're directing,
and making sandwiches.
That's a good quartet right there.
Yeah,
I like it. Hollywood Subs. Where are we going to be at? Where's the location again?
South Point, off of Belfort
Road.
Salisbury, right there.
Absolutely perfect.
We're going to do a big media blitz.
Good.
We're going to be a part of Team Tommy Mac.
All right, man. I love that, and I love doing this show. KP, thank you for being my guest tonight.
Thank you.
On Riding Shock, and of course, want to thank Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine, and overall the Fields Auto Group. A great line of vehicles, no matter what you're looking for. Luxury and performance at its finest. Of course, want to thank Iconic Innovations and the entire crew and all of you for your love and support. We wish you nothing but great things this week. It's Thanksgiving in a couple of days, and we wish you nothing but a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Until next time, stay safe, be cool, and all that good stuff. We'll see you right here on Riding Shotgun with Tommy Mac. Peace.
Peace. Good show.
That was fun.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be part of that.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Well, you got, the inside, you don't know. I don't know. I've never done it before. I don't know what it's. I've done what I do with Riding Shotgun, the other show, but I've never, acted.
You did. You did a small parts in a local
grocery store. That one? Is that
no. What was
yeah. Well,
Devlin.
Yeah, right. Mark Carby Man, LVP.
Yeah.
The LVP?
No, you did. Yeah, no.
Oh,
this was like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And came in yelling, "Ah!" And Devlin Man.
Devlin, yes.
Yes, he was in it.
I got to throw that guy against the wall.
Yes,
Not
you
Devlin.
did.
Yeah,
And you really did.
Yeah, I did. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
You're great in it. Oh, yeah. You're great in that.
What a great role for you, Tom.
Oh, yeah. You do more of that.
That's fantastic. All right.